story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello everyone, this is CoreTV News at 7 with Nifemi Oguntoye. The Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Osogbo has granted leave to the People's Democratic Party and a court party to serve petition on Governor Rauf Aregbesola through other means since the personal service option has been futile. Rashid was at the sitting and fathered the support.
Not minding the fights engaged in by councils to the APC and the PDP, the two parties presented themselves at the tribunal to seek various leaves. The new chairman who replaced Justice Ayambako, Justice Sulaiman Ambrosa, says the panel will give all parties a level playing field. An application moved by Council of the People's Democratic Party to serve petition on Rauf Aregbesola through substituted means was granted by the panel.
We tried to serve the governor, but he left instruction that nobody should collect any process from the tribunal. So we had no choice than to pin an application for the purpose of getting him served by substituted means, which we did and which the court graciously granted. So the petition is now going to be posted at the entrance of the government house.
A mild drama ensued when Counsel to All Progressives Congress, Kunle Adegoke, raised the petition of the APC written to the National Judiciary Commission questioning the removal of Justice Ayambako based on the petition brought by a court party, while the APC was not in the know of the said petition. Adegoke asked the chairman to recuse from being the chairman of the panel.
The All Progressives Congress wrote a petition to the NJC chairman querying the bona fides of the chairman of the tribunal to actually sit in this panel, and it was based on certain reasons adduced. You would observe that the former chairman, Justice Ayambako, was removed from this particular tribunal some few days ago, based on the petition, as we heard, by a court party acting for and on behalf of People's Democratic Party. And that was done without notice to all the parties involved in this petition. And it's on that basis that we said that, well, if they could forum shop for whatever reason, then we must bring it to the notice and attention of the tribunal that the choice or the choice of the chairman might not be too palatable with us.
Another motion of the APC was that the tribunal should set aside earlier leave granted the PDP for the inspection of INEC materials based on what was described as defective application. A ruling on the issue was, however, reserved by the tribunal.
The tribunal should set aside its order that it granted the People's Democratic Party and its candidates to inspect electoral materials some few days ago, because the order we're saying was granted without jurisdiction. The order was granted on a motion that was defective because the necessary condition precedent which was required was not met by that particular motion.
The panel set to sit on Friday for ruling on the application of the APC. Rashid, CoreTV News, Osogbo.
Reactions have trailed the addition of 30,000 polling units by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) ahead of the 2015 general elections. Olajumoke Olatunji reports that inequality in distribution among the country's geopolitical zones remains a bone of contention.
It is clear that to ensure the 2015 general elections are conducted under a more orderly and conducive atmosphere, thereby creating an environment for free and fair elections and consolidating the gains of the 2011 general elections, additional polling units must be created as described above.
South-South leaders, including former Vice Presidents Alex Ekweme and Edwin Clark, had immediately after INEC confirms the development, asked for the resignation of Atairu Jega as chairman of the electoral body. Others, however, of the opinion that INEC should be left alone to do its work the right way the body deemed fit. Two of them, the spokesperson of the Lagos PDP, Gani Taufik, and a political scientist, Dele Ashiru, also condemned the spate of criticism surrounding the issue.
The number of polling booths they have will not matter. It is for the political party agents and the media to help us on the day of elections, to show us the number of people that are queued on the line to vote, for the agents to know how many people that actually voted. Because the INEC has come out to tell us that the booths are created based on the registered voters. And if that is true, nobody can fault Jega. Jega did not do the registration. And the registration is also ongoing.
To accommodate more people who may be willing, to participate in the electoral process. For goodness sake, if we had X number of polling units in the last 4 years, I don't think it is out of place for an electoral umpire to think that to make the process more enjoyable, more relaxing, more polling units should be created.
Erstwhile chairman of the Ikeja NBA, Mondo Ubani, would want to toe the line of equipment and clock. For him, the addition of polling units at this period in the nation's democratic march to 2015 leaves much to be desired.
INEC will have great difficulty, especially Professor Jega, to convince the Southerners of the so glaring inequality in the creation of additional polling units. You created polling units 70% from in the northern region and 30% to the south. And the more appalling is the number of polling units in the southeastern region. In fact, the FCT Abuja has more polling, the new additional polling units, more than the entire eastern region, the 5 states combined. That is very insulting. And then the explanation that INEC chairman gave yesterday, I tried to listen to him in order to make sense out of what he was saying, and I couldn't make any meaning out of what he was saying. He was saying that he was trying to simplify the entire process and makes it easier for prospective voters to exercise their franchise in 2015. Oh, if that is intention, why are you not extending this same process of making it easier for the southern voters to exercise their franchise in 2015 by creating adequate number of additional polling units? Why must additional polling units be so disproportionate with the northern region and not the same with the south? When has increase of northerners become so obvious and glaring that you have to deal with the issue of 70% difference and all that?
Meanwhile, political watchers are closely monitoring the developments and its effect on the journey into the 2015 general elections. Olajumoke Olatunji, CoreTV News, Lagos.
The Obafemi Awolowo University was in the spotlight earlier this week as a result of the suspected outbreak of Ebola through a female student who had contact with an Ebola victim in Port Harcourt. The university management addressed journalists to clear the air and give update on the said outbreak. Rashid was there and filed in this report.
As the news of alleged Ebola outbreak in Obafemi Awolowo University filtered into town, Nigerians are apprehensive and want to know the result of the test run on the suspect.
The university authorities this afternoon are happy to announce to the whole world that the results of the preliminary and confirmatory test proved negative. Consequently, this university is Ebola virus disease free.
The OAU management went further to explain the proactive measures taken by the institution to prevent Ebola outbreak in the university.
It's prepared to handle cases, suspected cases, and we have collaboration with Lagos that if we have suspected cases, they will come in and assist us to transport the patient to their center and then do all necessary investigations.
Maintain standard hygienic precautionary measures as established by the University Ebola Disease Surveillance Committee.
Following the stigma experienced by surviving victims, the school authority announces zero tolerance on the development.
This university has never and will never stigmatize anyone with Ebola virus disease. There's no way the student will come back and will not allow her to continue studentship. A few, because a few of the students that are from neighboring, especially from Liberia, we've told them not to resume, and they have not resumed.
As the Obafemi Awolowo University is certified free from Ebola, it is expected that Nigeria will also be free from the dreaded disease sooner than later. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ile-Ife.
Residents of the Federal Capital Territory are divided on federal government's insistence on a September 22 resumption date for schools across the country. While many are demanding a return to the previous October 13 date, there are others who are convinced that the authorities are on top of the situation.
Ebola virus was imported to Nigeria by the late Liberian-American Patrick Sawyer in August, and since then the country has had to battle with the spread. One of the decisions taken to contain it was to extend the resumption date to October 13th before it was moved down to September 22. But this man sees no harm in forfeiting a single term for the sake of saving lives.
Let there be complete containment exactly of this issue first. In all the states, in all the cities, that there is no more individual being suspected of having the virus, whether on quarantine or whatsoever record. You understand? That's how it should have been. Yeah, after this now, they can go ahead to resume. One single academic term wouldn't do much damage, if I were to say.
Some parents who spoke to CoreTV News say government should be given a second chance.
I think we Nigerians should trust the experts. That's the Ministry of Health. They are the ones who are in a position to know whether our children are still at risk or the Nigerians are still at risk. If they think that it is all right for schools to resume on the 22nd of September, then all of us should accept it, because I don't think that they will advise us to bring our children together when we are still at risk of the Ebola virus disease. So I don't understand why there should be a controversy about it.
Actually, the federal government has a plan for Nigerian children, and I agree with them. The Parent Teachers Association should shift stand. I agree with the federal government.
This student is from Anglican Comprehensive Secondary School. She says she will only return to school if her safety is guaranteed.
But let them be a clinic in the school in case of any student has it.
So you feel safe if there's a clinic in school?
Yes.
For now, Nigerians will have to stick with the new school resumption date, as the government say it has no plan to revert to the old resumption date of October. But a number of Nigerians are scared that not many school children will know what to do in case of any eventuality around their school premises.
The Nigerian government plans to build 6 new world-class medical facilities and diagnostic centers in each of the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. This, according to the chairman of the Ministerial Committee on the Establishment of World-Class Hospital and Diagnostic Center, Tony Lumelu, is to ensure proper healthcare services for the citizenry. He made this known while speaking on the outcome of the committee's meeting with President Jonathan in Abuja.
We believe that health sector is key for the development of a country. Human capital is important, and you have to have a healthy workforce for a country to develop. We are happy that this administration is seriously committed to pushing things forward in that space. We updated the president on the journey so far with 2 statistics of the hospital projects in the country that have not been completed. We came up with 84 hospital projects distributed across the country. We shared this with Mr. President. Our intent is to see how this committee, working with this government, can help to bring closure in terms of completion to all these hospitals, so that our people will stop traveling to India, other South Africa, and other places for medicine. My committee believes that everyone should urge the Senate, the entirety of our National Assembly, to help pass the NHIS bill into law, as that will unlock a lot of opportunities in the health sector that will provide the much needed effective demand of funding that will help the sector to take off. if we do not pass the NHIS, if our Senate and House of Reps don't pass the NHIS bill, we won't achieve much. So as our senators and representatives go back to their constituents and constituencies to seek re-election mandates, we should ask them to please give us national health bill and the NHIS that will help us as a country.
You're on to CoreTV News at 7. More stories coming up shortly after this break. Stay with us.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes and bleeding from the eyes, ears and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Welcome back. A clarion call has once again been made for the empowerment of the girl child. These, according to the Oyo State Officials' Wives Association, organizers of the program, will stem the rising tide of violent crimes against women and girl child. Ebola Madekunle was at the event and brought back this report.
The Kakanfo in Ibadan, venue of the two-day sensitization program for the empowerment and education of the girl child, organized by wives of Oyo State government officials under the leadership of wife to the state governor, Florence Ajimobi, witnessed a huge crowd as women trooped in for a common cause. The theme of the program, Girl Child Empowerment, a Challenge for All, was driven from different angles by speakers at the occasion.
I've never liked the idea of girl child. Please tell my father I am not a girl child. First, I am a child. Second, I am a girl. There's nothing called girl child. Let me just quickly demystify that, long myth of the fact that women are the weaker sex. There's nothing like women are the weaker sex, because earlier in this year, all the most important federal government ministries in this country were led by women. The Minister of Petroleum is a woman. The Minister of Finance, woman. Minister of Water Resources, woman. Minister of Education, woman. Women Affairs, woman. Minister of Water Resources, woman. Minister of Information and Science and Communication Technology, woman. Apart from all those ministries, other ministries are other ministries. And so if our petrol, our water, our education, our environment, our aviation, and everything that makes us significant as human beings are managed by women, we are actually not the weaker sex. We are the more powerful sex.
Sound trusts the women folk to leverage on issues, especially those that touches their hearts. The fate of the over 200 missing girls and the confinement of the dreaded Boko Haram also receives the attention.
I sympathize with this country, Nigeria, and I sympathize with myself at the same time. I pray that these girls come back to Nigeria, these over 200 Chibok girls. It is a pity for the past days, 149 days ago, we have not been able to recover these children. But as we mothers continue to pray, we are all on our knees that God should please bring back these girls safe.
Yes, I believe and I hope and I pray every day as a mother and as a sister. I know that they will definitely come back if something drastic is done. I know I've heard a number of times in the papers, in the media, the president and top military officials have promised, have told us they know where these girls are. So I think more efforts should be put in trying to ensure their rescue and they should be brought back safely. I believe in the strength of our military. I know that our government is doing enough, and if enough is done with collaboration of other countries, I know these girls will be rescued back safely someday, and I pray and I hope.
Participants also speak on the significance of the program and its expected impact.
I discovered that we need to empower our child girl. We need to empower them to know their rights and to be able to face challenges so that women will be they will be reckoned with in Nigeria, so that the male child will not overshadow the gift of God in a girl child.
For me, it's all about the rights of the girl, because when you give her her rights, you give her equality, you give her opportunity to, you build her up, you empower her to be whatever she's going to be in life. So for me, it's basically first and foremost about education and her rights. Protect her from the cultural barriers that prevent her from being what she is, actualizing her dreams.
Gender equality and the empowerment of the girl child have been on the front burner of most women gatherings. The gathering, however, tasked participants on the practicability of the theme of the program. Ebunlomo Adekunle, CoreTV News, Ibadan.
Good luck, Jonathan says it won't interfere with ongoing investigations into the alleged links between former Borno State Governor Modi Sharif and Boko Haram. He also maintained that the former governor was not on his entourage to Chad. Jonathan, who spoke through a spokesman, Ruben Abati, explained at a press briefing in Abuja that the pictures which formed the basis of the claims were from an airport reception.
Totally erroneous basis for that charge was a spurious claim that Senator Sharif accompanied President Jonathan on his recent trip to N'Djamena as a member of his entourage. Although Senator Sharif himself has already given the lie to that claim through his media advisor, the presidency wishes to affirm, for the purpose of emphasis, that the former Borno State governor was not on President Jonathan's delegation to Chad. Those who associate with Senator Sharif know that he has long-standing interest in Chad and often spends a lot of time in that country. He happened to be in N'Djamena at the time of President Jonathan's visit, and what happened was that he joined other Nigerian residents of the Chadian capital in coming to the airport to welcome their president. That was the full extent of his participation in the visit. And it was also at the N'Djamena International Airport that the pictures, which form the basis of the bogus allegation of President Jonathan hobnobbing with an accused sponsor of terrorism, were taken.
The presidency wants Fulani cattle rearers to embrace Western education. It also urged them to avoid conflict with their host communities in the run-up to the 2015 elections. Presidential advisor on political affairs Rufai Akali gave this advice while receiving the leadership of Meyeti Allah Social Cultural Group in Abuja.
Make sure that you send your children to school, because one of the is education is the foundation of civilization, and education is the instrument of liberation of all societies, historically and certainly in contemporary times. So the opportunity is now, and then the transformation can start from our own homes, because by transforming from a traditional style of taking education for granted, we can now take it as a responsibility in our families. Personally, I've been doing my best at the level of promoting education at every level in my life. Maybe I'll have opportunity to say it one day, what I've been doing, apart from what is the formal thing that you see outside. Therefore, my understanding is that there must have been a breakdown of communication between the two otherwise brothers, the farmer and the cattle rearer, because these are virtually two sides of the same coin. A lot of people do not understand that there are many people who are not Fulanis but they have cattle today. Probably more than some of the Fulanis. And there are many Fulanis who do not have cattle. So the perception that every Fulani man is a cattle rearer, I don't think is correct. That is my understanding of it. I have instances where we have leading cattle owners in northern Nigeria who are not Fulanis at all. But no matter, under normal circumstances, there should be closer collaboration between the cattle rearer and the farmer, because there are a lot of benefit the farmer gains by working with the cattle rearer, and a lot of benefit the country will gain from the farmer. I think we have to re-establish that relationship very quickly.
Some Nigerians are reacting to the inability of authorities to settle pension arrears of so many retirees in the country. Speaking on our program Call Digest, public affairs analyst Olabode Oseni says Nigeria found itself in this embarrassing circumstance as a result of bad governance.
We are the best in everything in Harvard. We are the best in everything in England, in Germany, in America, in places. And these people are using us to do their own good business. And we are here generating what? Rubbish. So the system we put in place, and why is that system not working, if you want to know, is because there's one pillar, couple of pillars. And I've said it, all the programs have appeared. You know what that pillars are? Rule of law. It is rule of law. You can trace it, and what is the cause of this cancer? Some cancer you cannot trace, you don't know how it started. But there are many cancers that at least research has shown that they know exactly that this is the cause. The cause of bad governance anywhere in the whole world is rule of law. The most nastiest set of human beings are available in other countries. I don't want to say white, black, or yellow. But as nasty as they are contained. They are contained. They cannot misbehave. They cannot afford to steal your money. They cannot afford to take your right. They cannot afford to make sure there's water's not running. There's no light.
And that wraps it on CoreTV News this hour. Join us again at 9:45 p.m. for the primetime news. Thanks for being there.